Hello everyone and welcome to the Winter Outlook. My name is Patrick Harry and alongside me is Dr. Anthony Lupo. And in case you're new to this kind of system, we have always discussed our climate outlooks between right before winter and right before summer. So we're in about a couple weeks into fall, and looking back, Dr. Lupo, how was our summer outlook?
Well, the summer outlook, we called for temperatures to be right around normal, maybe a little bit above. So on temperature, we hit it out of the ballpark. But when it came to precipitation, we had a little setback. We were saying that it was going to be a little dry, but we had that 3-week period from end of June to the early July where we got 10 inches of rain. And while that did not help our forecast, I was very happy because agriculture did not suffer in the state. So,
that was one of the events that I remember, working over at Channel 8. We were covering a lot of rainstorms. It's always good news seeing that drought monitor decrease in color because we had been dealing with a little bit of dryness at that time. So always good news there. And looking into more into the winter, how do you make these forecasts?
Well, we look at the trends for the last year, and we look at the El Nino phase, of course, and we try to anticipate what kind of trough ridge pattern we might have over the Pacific Ocean region and North America. So those are the three main ingredients that are going to go into this winter's forecast.
And let's just dive right into that outlook. So what do you expect for the winter this year?
Well, this winter I expect the temperatures will be right around normal, maybe even a hair below. We've had 3 winters in a row that have been fairly mild, and some of the patterns that I'm seeing emerging in the jet stream augur for a little bit cooler conditions. So maybe, and that's connected with the emergence of La Nina. So.
And when you say normal, I mean, I understand what that means, but what does, for the average person, what does normal mean?
Yeah, for our winter period, normal is right around 32 degrees for the average temperature for the entire winter. And so that means roughly highs in the 40s, but that can vary anywhere from the 20s to the low 50s. And of course, at night, that means the mid-20s, but that'll vary anywhere between, say, 15 and 32. So a lot of variance in winter weather.
Okay, and when you're looking more into extreme events, let's say one of those weeks where we see that Arctic blast, as some people like to call it, when we get those polar, those really cold days. Are we going to see anything like that this year?
I think so. I think that typically with La Nina patterns, you tend to have a little bit more of an amplified jet stream. So what that means is we'll have periods where it's fairly cold, and then we'll have periods where it's a little more mild. So.
Okay, and looking now into precipitation, I'm a big person when it comes to snow. I would love to see some snowstorms mixed in there, and especially right around Christmas times. I'm sure everyone would love to see some snow right alongside Christmas time. So I know I don't know if you take into account certain times of year, or times of winter. Looking into Christmas, should we expect a white Christmas, or is that more going to be reserved for when we get into January and February?
Well, in Missouri, the probability of a white Christmas varies extremely greatly as you go from north to south across the state. In the northern part of the state, the odds are about 50%, or about 5 times every decade. In the Columbia area, the middle part of Missouri, that drops to about 25%. And then when you get to southern Missouri, that drops to about 10%. So the odds of a white Christmas in Missouri are less than 50% for most of Missouri. And what I see with this year's pattern is more smaller events, more smaller snows, maybe the 2 to 3 inch variety, maybe a 4 to 6 inch event. But I don't see a very large event like we've seen in some years around Missouri.
So looking more into totals, what, in terms of precipitation, are we looking more at a wetter winter, or we're going to trend more drier?
Yeah, La Niñas tend to trend a little bit wetter, and they tend to trend with a little more snow. So I'm looking at anywhere from about 15 to 20 here in the middle part of Missouri. You go to the southern part of Missouri, you may be lucky to get 5 to 10, but I think 15 to 20, which would be more than the last 2 years. So
definitely something I'd like to see. It's always fun to throw my hat in the ring and do some winter weather forecasting, and seeing how difficult it is to talk snow totals it's always a fun challenge to have the chance to do anything like that.
Oh, absolutely. And the middle part of Missouri is particularly challenging because we're frequently at that rain-snow line in mid-Missouri. So you really have to be on the ball with where you see the rain-snow divider set up.
And, looking, anything else with this outlook, anything else you'd like to talk about in terms of forecasting or any results?
Well, at the beginning, I talked about the fact that we would look at trends throughout the year, and the beginning of last year was just anomalously warm for every month up right through May. And then we started to see the temperature anomalies drop a bit, and that's connected to the cooling associated with La Nina and the Atlantic cooling off a bit. So we've seen these long-term trends in the oceans, and that's kind of what's going into my forecast of a more winter-like winter, we'll say that much.
All right, do you have anything else you'd like to say?
I would say that when it comes to winter weather, make sure that you have kitty litter or sand in the back of your car or truck, because it gives you a little bit of weight for those icy days. But if you're really stuck on the ice, you can pull it out and use it for traction. Also have a snow shovel, and whether you're talking about your home or car, have a little kit where you have blankets and candles at the ready in case you lose power.
All right. As always, it's always a great pleasure talking with you and diving into our outlooks over the last couple of years. It's been a great pleasure talking about both the summer and winter, and I'm always interested to see how this winter will go when we look back when we're talking again in March or April of 2025. Which is a crazy number to throw around, but...
Oh yeah, and if we make a mistake, or if we're not completely correct on our forecasts, we own up to them like we did on the precipitation for summer. But it's been a pleasure to work with you, and I'm glad to see that you will be moving on with your master's degree. So thank you.
As always, thank you for watching. Make sure to like, subscribe, share this video across Missouri if you can, and we'll see you again when we come back in the spring. Thank you.